We are live now with Sally Morgan Moore from Frontier Development.
I am
Welcome,
there.
Sally.
I just realised the stream is just a couple of seconds behind, and I was looking on the other screen. I was like, I'm not moving, but I am moving. What's going on? Hello.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for, first of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing to do this for us. It's always lovely to have you here, but you're doing
Thank
it in your free
you.
time, your own time.
Oh, it's
So
lovely. It's a lovely Saturday spent with
it is actually.
Rooty Tooty, as I like to call you, don't I?
So before we start, let me just clarify something to you guys, to the viewers. So everybody's on the same page. This is a fun, chilled interview, talk with Sally. And even though I will be asking some questions about Thargoid and Guardians, for example, please don't treat anything that's said here as official insider information or official Frontier statement.
I'm the unofficial Sally Morgan Moore.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't know.
First of all, Sally, congratulations on your promotion. I know it was quite a while ago, but on this channel,
That
we like
last
to.
year, wasn't it? Now,
It was last year,
just
yeah.
over a
So
little bit ago,
how long
yeah.
ago was it now? Was it a full year now?
About a year and a half.
Year and a
maybe?
half already.
I think it was
Oh
something
my
like
God.
that, or just about a year. I don't know. I mean, I've been back at Frontier for 2 years now.
Yeah. Is it 2 years already? Oh my God.
I think so. I think so.
Time
But yeah,
flies when you're having fun, eh?
I've had 2 Christmas parties.
Yeah.
That's how I'll figure it out.
That's the best way to measure how long you've been at the company. It's measured by how many Christmas parties I attended so
and then
far.
there was 3 before that, so it's fine.
Yeah, so
but yeah, time flies.
yeah, that's great. So tell us a little bit about your event, because you used to be Elite Dangerous producer, and now you're senior community manager. So yeah, tell us a little bit about how your adventure started with Frontier and how it all went, how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of a twisty turny kind of career path, haven't I, really? I mean, I actually came from QA of all places, which is like the golden department of the games industry. I hasten to add, I think they're flipping incredible and extremely vital. And I think in QA is kind of where I got my hybrid of production community led head. Because as part of QA, one of the companies that I worked for, which was, I don't know if you know, do you know the Oliver twins? You must know the Oliver twins, but they had Blitz Blitz games, and I had a usability lab for them where it was the first of its kind, and social media wasn't really a thing then, and it was like, how can we get feedback from players to make cool games or make games better, kind of thing. And so I made this usability test suite thing with like cameras in the ceiling, and like it was very crudely made, but it was really cool. And that was my first taste of like, getting people to come in and play the game and then give feedback on the game that's in development, and then see what they're enjoying and how we make it better. And that kind of stuck in my head for years. And from QA, it was like, well, in order to take this feedback and make a game good, I could go into production, because I could be that guy that would take the feedback and then work with the teams to implement it. So I was like, yeah, I want to be a producer. I want to do production. So I was a producer. Well, I went for assistant producer. I was in production for about 7 years in total, which was
all
awesome.
at Frontier Developments.
No, it was four at Frontier, 3 previously, and yeah, Elite was the first game that I worked on from the start of Frontier. 4 years, like I say, in production, and then 1 in product management, and then now in community. So it's like I've taken that. I love working with the teams to make a great game and coordinate, because that's what a producer does.
Yeah.
They make sure that all of the teams know what they're doing. As if you probably didn't know already, I am a bit of a bossy boots, as Arthur definitely knows.
We can sometimes tell from the live streams, I think.
do this. I'm not like a dictator in any form. I'm so pleased that people, want me to help them on their way with things. But I've flip-flopped between the two. So, production, then I went into product, and then I left Frontier for a little bit, went to be a producer again, came back, went into community, and the two just work really well. So I've got a knowledge of how the game's made and how production works and what producers need, especially in a live service game. So like it's very different. Live service game and, free release, just out there game, so different, because live service is continuously updating, continuously getting feedback, and you want to keep people playing the game, you want to keep people in it. So you have that rolling continuous feedback that you can then feed into production and into development. Whereas standalone single release games you have to build them based on what you think players are going to like. And they're out there then, aren't they?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does actually, yeah. And actually, it sounds like your role as producer, actually, the experience you got from that is really helpful to what you are doing now, which is great because you can do that role better. That's actually my next question, because we already established that you've not always been a senior community manager. There was a time when you were actually a producer on Elite Dangerous as well, like you said, and then other games before that as well. I think we all have some sort of idea of what a community manager does, although I know for a fact that it's probably a lot harder than what most people think, the community management role. But probably not everyone, and that's me included, knows what actually a producer of a video game does. I know what a producer, what a music producer does. He produces music. But in that context of like working within game development environment, can you tell us a little bit more about what is the actual role of video game producer?
So not only are you just a producer, you're also a departmental producer as well. So for Elite, for example, you've got several producers that all own different features, because you can have an overall producer who's like the executive producer, who will oversee the other producers and make sure that those producers are completing on their features, so that then the features all tie up into one final product. But then you've got your departmental or discipline producers. So, for example, me, it's easier to share my example really, I suppose. When I joined Frontier, I was producer for ships, DLC, so ship skins, engines, trails, kits, stuff that goes in the store, ship kits and all of that business. And that obviously tied in with ships quite well. There was the camera suite as well, as we know. And what else was I on now? Ships and art, just general art. Okay. So I was handling like the art production side of things and VFX. So some of my first, for example, the Chieftain and the Type 10. I have to try now. Don't want to trip up because there's stuff that at the time, obviously, you have names for ships that are in development, and then they have different names when they come out. So I'm probably going to say some ship. The Chieftain, for example, Arthur. I don't know if Arthur knows that, but that was one of the first ships that I took to completion. And then the Crate and the Crate Mark II.
Arthur's beloved ship.
Yes. So I can change it just like that. No, I can't. I don't have that power anymore. So yeah, what I would do is basically start at concept with a ship, and then once the concept was signed off, it'd go into modeling and then texturing and then design. So you'd have the balancing of the ship. So you then, for each of those milestones essentially of completing on your feature, you have you demonstrate it at the end of each milestone, make sure that everybody knows what it is, what needs left to do, what final balancing checks need doing before then it goes into the final release. So you just carry this little thing that needs making, whilst all the exceptionally clever people build it for you. But you're there to support them do that, and you make sure that their time is used effectively.
So is it sort of like being like an overseer of sort of part of the game, and then making sure what designers do translates into what the developers
into the
put
final,
into the game and
into
what
the
we
feature.
as players then see in the game. That's actually quite good, because I think that allows you to get that inside knowledge about that particular part of the game. And
you have to know it.
You know,
like for me, I can't work on something that I don't know. I needed you as a producer. You should know your feature inside out, how it works. For example, one of my first big gameplay type features that I had to work on was the Guardian beacons and the Guardian fighters. And then obviously the beacons have gameplay elements to them. And I remember that quite lovingly, actually. This is one of my first gameplay features. Might not seem much to many, because, you fly into your system and you've got your beacon, and then you go around and you activate each bit, and the key can... No spoilers, everybody's done it, right?
I think at this point everybody has done it,
Of course. And then, you get your blueprint and all that business. And I was so proud of that, because that was like my first link to gameplay feature. So I had to make sure the beacon was complete, and then make sure that the actual gameplay elements were in there, that it worked, and that it led to where it meant to go. And
I think, regardless of how small that piece of work is, I think you should be proud of it, because then it makes it into a game, and then, like millions of players actually use it, and then because of your work, they can have some fun, and they can discover, especially if it's tied to something so mysterious as Guardian beacons, which we don't really know much about from the lore point of view. We know what they do, or we think we know what they do. They produce us with the key, and then use that key for something else. But maybe from gameplay point of view, it's not that significant. From lore point of view, it's absolutely massive, because it's this big thing on the orbit, and then the atmosphere there, like you jump in there, the music starts playing, the eerie music, and then
you see, that's another thing. That's another thing that ties in as well. It's audio. So all of these teams come together. It's definitely not my feature by any. This is the team. Audio come in. The VFX team on the lightning zapping. That all has to happen. The actual mechanics of the design is a thing. Doing the thing, taking you to the location is a thing, and all of that has to come together. So that's basically what producers do. They make sure that all comes together.
Was that ever a surprise to you? Like, if you thought to yourself, "Oh, it's just I'm using air quotation marks. It's just the Guardian beacon. It's like 10 minutes for the player." But then when the players actually went, "Oh my God, look at this thing. It's so mysterious, so amazing. And I'm getting this key. What to do with it now? What can we, is there anything else in there? No, can we scan it? Can we do something else with it?" Like, were you ever sort of like, firstly thought to yourself, "Oh, it's just such a small piece of work." And then when actually it was released, the reaction from the players was like...
That is a really, really good point you've raised, actually, because some features can take months to make. Like, they do take months to make. And by the end of it, you're a little bit tunnel vision, and you're a little bit numb to how far the team's come, and how far, because you're reiterating, you're over and over and over, and you can't see that magic of it anymore. You just get so used to the same thing. Like, I would be testing them myself every time that something new was committed. I play it, and you'd just be like, "Is this fun? Is this fun anymore?" I don't know if it's fun anymore. So yes, then when they get released and you see that Commander discover one, and the face, and the Robin said this, like, when the latest stuff was discovered, it sends you all tingly, because it's like, hey, these are fresh eyes on this thing, and look, they're into it, and everything just feels great. So yeah, that never gets old.
That's amazing.
It reignites your spark.
Definitely sounds like one of the highlights of working as a producer, when you sort of when you lose that distance to your piece of work, and then you see the players interacting with it, and you instantly probably gain that distance back, and you see, actually,
Yeah.
it's only me, but that see this thing as a mundane because I've done it so many times now during
Yeah.
work. But now it's like, any other
Yeah.
highlights of working as producer and community manager?
I think it's at the moment for me, I think it's just working with production to help give the feedback from you all, and then releasing things where you're like, oh, they did see that. They have listened. We always listen. But like, even if it's a little thing that we fix, or a little thing that again, I'm saying a little thing. Actually, some things are very big to you guys. But I think that is also a highlight. It's like knowing something that could make you guys happy, and knowing then when you feed back to production or the team that we can achieve that for you, and then it goes in and you see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just really soppy, but it gets me.
it does make sense, and I think I mean I've done some. I've never done like community management as such, but I think that feeling of seeing your thing being your project becoming a thing and then people enjoying it. I've experienced that in the past during my adventures on this world before, and it's an amazing feeling to to experience, to know that something you've put so much heart into and so much effort and so much energy and so much good vibes, and you yourself might be fed up with it now because you've been at it for so long and you're like, oh my god. And then you see people like enjoying that thing, and it hits you like, yeah, that's a some good work I've done there.
It's true, and I see it collectively. I don't really see it. I don't see it for me. I see it for like, there's just so many people involved, and I think that's what a lot of people perhaps sometimes need to be mindful of, is that it's not just one person that's going to fix a thing that sounds very easy. It's a lot goes into it, and then when that's a lot of people positively then affected, if you guys are happy. So I know
it's great. It sounds great. And talking about community, actually, I think we can all agree that Elite Dangerous has one of the best communities ever. I mean, I say that without any sort of because we're here. I genuinely think that. I've been involved in so many different projects over the years, and genuinely this community is one of the best things ever. They do so many amazing things, from all kinds of creative stuff, graphics, videos, animations, Lego, printouts, like 3D printing, to stuff like third-party apps to assist with the game, social gatherings in the game and in real life outside of the game as well. Charity streams like this one. And so many other amazing things and projects. Can you tell us some of your absolute like proper top moments of working with Elite Dangerous community? It's the kind of stuff you'll never forget.
My first LaveCon, probably my first events, I think. So when I finally came out of the shadow, I suppose, of development side, and then pushed more into these are the commanders, these are your people that you are gonna love for a very long time, and then actually meeting them in person, I wasn't ready for it. I was not like the warmth, and I felt like you've known them for 20 years, and it was I was so scared. I was really, really nervous. I was like, nobody's gonna know what I'm doing, why I'm here, who I am. And I don't know, I just remember walking in and seeing everybody looking at us, who we certainly don't feel special. We don't consider ourselves special, but you guys treat us so special. It's so like I
mean,
still don't quite get over it. It's strange.
It's because you are sort of celebrities, in a way. To I think to many people, because when we see you on the live stream on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, talking about these things, or we read your comments on the forums, and then when you actually meet the people who made the game you love so much and who spend so much time and energy working on that game, and making sure it's the best game we can have, I think for many people it's the appreciation of what you do, but also the fact that you're actually meeting the people who made Elite Dangerous. I mean, first time I went to LiveCon, I was hit with that, what you were talking about, the positiveness, the good vibes, all the warmth and the love that people bring there. And I think it's something very unique about the Elite Dangerous community, that there is something special about them, that they are so loving and so positive.
No, they are.
Not always, as we know, but in the vast majority, as far as we can tell, I think we can fairly say that there is something very unique. And meeting that, but I'm trying to imagine how it must feel like from your point of view when you said, like, I've been scared, but then you meet with this, it's Sally, it's Arf,
I still don't get it. Like I'm the one that's going, it's Roots. Like I'm as in awe of you guys for how much passion and playtime and, like you were saying, all of the stuff that people do, commanders do with the game, that is hours of their day, making things outside of the game as well, player groups, podcasts, all of that stuff that you don't have to do that as well, and it's I won't get over it. There's always going to be something new that people are making out of what we're making. So the stuff that you do is then heroic to us. It's strange. So I'm going in like a fangirl, basically, but don't tell anyone.
I mean, Osric in the chat says a big part of it is that the community has grown up alongside Frontier as a company growing, which I think there's a lot of truth to that, because we've been there when Elite Dangerous was released, even before that, through alpha and beta stages and all that, and we waited for this game for so many years, and we got it, and then a lot of us were there for the ride from even before the very beginning, from before the beginning of time. We were with you guys, and then seeing this whole thing develop into what we have now. But also, people, I think, were very appreciative of Frontier as a company and how you do things, and I think that is maybe part of it, like Osric says.
Yeah, I think
we
you've
sort of
also
grew up
got
together.
Well, you've got that connection with David as well, haven't you? Because this is David's baby. Like Elite Dangerous, a lot of commanders have played Elite, like 80s Elite, all the way through, and then no wonder there's a history and a passion there, because you've followed it from pre-Frontier. You haven't just followed it from Frontier. There's a lot of people who it's not just about Frontier. We're just carrying it on, aren't we, really?
Yeah, it's amazing, because I think you build that relationship between your business and your community, but it's like, I think a lot of us don't treat it as business, but Frontier to us is like, I don't know how to say it. It's like it's like friends who made the game for us. You know what I mean? It's we have this appreciation of, it's a business, it's a company.
Yeah.
But it was founded by the person who most of us, I think, admire, and like for me, meeting David Braben when I was able to shake his hand was one of the best things that happened to me in my life. I mean, I admired this guy from when I was a kid, and some years later, I had a chance to shake his hand and to get his signature, on the very box of the game I purchased with my first money I've ever earned. That was the Frontier First Encounters. That was the game that was my first game ever purchased for my real first money. And to be able to hand that box over to him and have him sign the box and then, shake his hand, it was so humbling and so amazing. I think many of us have that have built that relationship with you as a company, but also it's more like a friendly friend slash you know what I mean? It's weird to describe. I think.
like to think that we're aware of that though as well, in perhaps the way that we also want you to feel like that. So we want to come to, we don't hide away from you all. We want to be with you. There's many of us that want to fly along with you. Like we all play, a lot of us on the elite team. Goodness me, we've been playing for years. We feel like we're one of you too, which I think that's why we have that connection. So I'm glad you feel comfortable enough to feel like that. Basically.
I think it seems to be working pretty well both ways. I think Speaking of Elite Dangerous, because let's speak about the game itself now.
Yes.
We've seen many story arcs over the years, from Empire almost crumbling down after the Emperor's death and assassination, and then we've had Aisling Duval coronation, to Federation squashing down hard on the Onion Head producers, to Guardians being discovered, the first alien species apart from Thargoids in Elite lore ever, to discovery of first crash Thargoids, Titan, with the use of spectrogram. That was absolutely mental, by the way, from that audio, to the first contact with the actual Thargoids, to Thargoid cult storyline, to Dredger civilizations, to generation ships, to first Thargoid war, to finally now the aftermath, the second Thargoid war, and a few more. There's so much story in Elite Dangerous, so much history. Yeah. I mean, a lot has happened over these last 9 years. Do you have your own favorite storyline or story arc? And why is it that one?
I think the one, there's been a few that get to me, and I think my favourite are some of the little hidden narratives. So we've had one recently, with the Dedicant. Mm-hmm. So the audio logs, for example, the Jameson stuff.
Oh yeah,
is I don't think I'm quite over it. I get emotional all the time. The crash site, that was one of the first things that I read when I joined Frontier, to try and see what kind of a story Elite was, what kind of game Elite was, how, does it have it? What's it, when you're doing, you're sort of getting used to things, and like, what's the narrative? I mean, and then I delve a bit deeper, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got an awful lot to catch up on. and this is not just but I feel like I well up quite a lot the acting, the voice acting, and I think that shone through again. The Dedicant this time very much reminded me of those audio logs, the "Hey Kiddo." I try and even say "Hey Kiddo" without well up. It's the little ones. I remember Joyce Den as well. Those audio logs, they were fantastic. So it's the little hidden things throughout. The back of my mind, I also want to say what happened with the Gnosis. But we don't speak of the Gnosis, do we?
We do here. That's all right.
But that was the multi-layer kind of memory of an event in a game, because I remember that kicking off on our side. I see Osric's reaction there. I've got the chat. I've got the chat over here. If you see me looking over there. But that was quite a time, and one that stays here as well. So there are I don't go back further than the last 4-5 years, obviously, but yeah, the audio logs that are dotted around for the minor story arcs.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, I'm on my second account, which is sort of an explorer lore person, sort of from backstory point of view. I'm doing all of the generation ships at the moment. I've only visited like 4 out of the whole lot. I mean, that's another thing about the game. Like, I have spent over 5,000 hours in this game, and there is still so many things I've not done yet. Like, I've not seen generation ships ever before. And it's my first time I'm seeing them, and I'm listening to these logs, and I'm going, oh my god, that's so spooky or so scary or so, and they make you think as well. Like, if I was this guy,
the Halloween one as well.
Oh, that was
I can't believe I even
genuine goosebumps, genuine goosebumps out of that one. That was brilliant.
Great too.
Following that, and I was actually live streaming that. We were deciphering that riddle together with my viewers, and it was so amazing to be able to get together and get that challenge as well. You know, it's not only follow this dot on or this mark on the map and you will get your story. You actually had to work for it. That's what I like about Elite as well, that you guys make us work for it. It's not, and I'm talking about the unfamous grind, which in my opinion is not. But anyway,
I was waiting for that.
I'm talking about things like, you know, engaging.
Where is he going there?
No. I'm talking about engaging your brain and using it to decipher something, you know, to solve the riddle, and that Halloween story that you've mentioned was so great to me because of the fact that you have to work out the number of years from the information you were given, just a snippet of info, like, oh, it was traveling for so many years in the sublight speed. That means it traveled 1 light year per year, right? So how many days do you travel? How many years? Blah blah blah, and then you had to work it all out, and it was so refreshing from the other games that just give you a big red X on the map and say go there. That's where your treasure is. And it's absolutely different, and that's what I like about it, you know.
And we love seeing that, and that is something that I think there was a I think it was at the Halloween one when I first put out a forum post about it. I said to Arthur, I was like, I'm gonna have a little. We haven't had a little play like this before, like hidden a little thingy, and there was an image in the forum post that I put with like a text file hidden message inside with the binary, and it was just like that was people got that within 5 minutes. I was just like, we were placing bets like, oh, we haven't hidden a little hidden message thing since the audio, but what is it, the spectrograph, what are they called now?
The spectrogram.
Waveform. Yeah. Spectrograms. I only said waveforms, but yeah. So let's try and hide some bits in there. And 5 minutes. I was just like, how long do you think it will take? Oh, it might take like an hour. We're like, no. Do you know, Commanders? The thing, a minute, I bet.
It was
true enough.
Minutes. So many people are used to getting these riddles now. The most amazing thing that I think community ever did when it comes to deciphering your stuff is there was a community meet, official Frontier community meet in Birmingham before the Guardians were introduced into the game, and there was a very tiny teaser shown. It was a bit of Guardian structure and a night sky on this planet. Nobody knew what it was at the time. It was some weird, and somebody triangulated that system from that single shot. That, you know, to me, that's the most amazing thing the community ever did. You know,
we still talk about that. Robin still talks about that. Actually, I'm sure it was Robin that brought that up the other day, and it comes up a few times a year. And it's like, do you remember when they put that one screenshot out and they actually found from a little bit in the background the location?
That's mind blowing. That is mind blowing. And you know, but it's also a testament to how scientifically accurate Elite Dangerous is. That the sky that's represented for you, it's not just a painted sky. It's actual sky, and the stars are in the real positions. And then from that, you can actually, if you have specific points, you can relate to, like this nebula or whatever. You can then figure it out from that, and it's going to be actually the real position in the 3D space. That's that's the other side of the coin that is also mind-blowing, you know.
That's the bit of complexity that I kind of would like to remind people of regularly, that it's a simulation of the galaxy. Like, this game isn't just, it's not just a box, like a skybox with bits in it that are placed individually 10 little pins or whatever. It's an actual piece of science. It's a stimulation, and there's a game within that. It's massive and it's so complex. And if one little thing goes wrong, it's not an easy feast. Yeah. It's not going to take, but I think everybody does understand that, and it's not, but that is something that I have to remind myself quite often.
And I think it's something that people understand and are aware of, but maybe we tend to forget about it maybe a little bit too often sometimes.
It's not, that also is not a problem. It's like, that's not, you are more than welcome to forget that, because you are there to enjoy the game and to, immerse yourself in what you enjoy.
Change of the subject.
Yes.
And coming to combat maybe a little bit, which Thargoid ship scares you the most? Because we have quite a few of them now.
The Hydra. It's between the Hydra and the Medusa, I think.
Is it?
Yeah. Not the new ones. They look a little bit more. But the beasties with like almost feathery.
So the big scary monsters. Yeah. Basically.
It's just the size.
Yeah.
And just seeing them. Yeah. But then I suppose the size is a bit cheeky, isn't it? It's the shape, like the spines, I think. Anything that's pointy.
So it's more visually scares you because for me, I think it's the glaive, because it can die quite quickly, but it's very vicious, and it's like this rabid, crazy animal that just jumps you, and then it's like
it's really fast as well.
It's scary how fast it is, and like it's on you, on top of you all the time, just biting away, and it's like oh wow, I've got I think it's the intensity of it. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's the intensity of the encounter with glaive that kills me, basically. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
I like untilting. It says piranha droid. It is like a piranha, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
It is like, right, I'm coming to get you.
Right, let's change the topic from scary aliens to something much nicer. Let's say that you, Sally, are the long-lost daughter of Aisling Duval. So you are Princess Sally Duval. And then let's say that Emperor Arisa has, shall we say, an unpleasant accident. Nothing to do with you and your dirty political court games, of course. Princess Sally, and you, as the rightful heiress, take the Imperial Throne. Emperor Sally Duval. How does that sound? Long pink hair, of course. Yes. As opposed to blue.
The blue. Swap out the blue.
Everyone bows, apart from Aisling. You sit on the pink throne. There is total silence. Everyone awaits your first words as an emperor. What would your first ever order as an emperor of the Achenar Empire be?
Oh, wow. What would my... Do you know what? I'd have some really cool policies. I've been thinking about this for a while, actually, which is really sad. But I was like, what kind of leader would I be? What would I incentivize people with in the galaxy to go out and do things? I think I said on social that there would be free pink livery for everybody, which I think that's plenty to be excited about, if I'm honest with you. Reductions for rose-coloured cosmetics. I think that would be great. It'd be a uniform thing. I think it would be nice for people to wear a uniform. I don't know how people would feel about that. I'd let them have it for free. Yeah, you'd have it for free. I'd give a lot of stuff away.
Would you release the slaves? Storage. The Empire slaves? Would you?
No slaves. We don't.
No slavery. Empire.
No.
I think Aisling would like you for this.
Well, I wish she would just stop spending money on parties. I like parties, but she's, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit jealous of her. I mean, she is an empress in this wonderful galaxy. She's very well loved, isn't she?
She is, actually, that's true.
See, I like Arisa because she's really...
She seems to the point. She seems like...
she is. she gets stuff done.
Yeah,
And I think
that's true.
I would be very much that as well. So I would appreciate my throne, whereas I think Ashley likes to appreciate sitting on it. Like she likes to sit on it. I would be flying out there with everybody. Like I would want to be among you all doing
Right, so you'll be
things.
the traveling empress.
Yes,
The traveling
exactly.
philanthropist empress.
Yes, that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Let me just remind you that the last president of Federation that tried to do that was kidnapped by Guardians, probably, and then she's returned with her memories erased and everything. So, not sure about the idea, but
that pain in my head is still there. Just at the back of my ear, I think it is.
It may
just
work
there.
out. It may work
a bit
out.
sore. Yeah.
Right. Coming on to the next question. When are we going to be able to buy Sally Kovas? I think many of us would actually love that. Having you shout at us as you shout at Arthur, during those live streams.
No,
don't touch that button, Commander.
Don't do that. Don't boost so hard. Save your fuel.
We're under
You're
attack.
You're running out of fuel. We're under attack. Do something. What are you waiting for? Just sit there. Also, why are you running? I'll be like, Roots, turn around and face the delay.
Why are you running?
What are you doing? Why are you running?
You feel like abusive Sally Kovas.
No one wants that.
I think many of us would like that, actually.
I don't know. And then there'd be the flip side where it'd be like, yeah, great, you did great. Now do it better. Work harder. No. No. I mean, it's cute, but yeah.
I think it's good. Okay, but moving on anyway. And this
I hope
is something...
nobody snapshotted any of those. Don't make an unofficial one.
I think too late. Oh, can we use AI to create Sally Kovas, maybe?
Oh my God. Wow.
Anyway,
yeah.
This is something I know that many bigger player group leaders would love to return. Actually, because I've been hearing this from many people, like from Hard Orbital Trackers, all sort of bigger groups that sort of we used to use that before as a great incentive to motivate people to play. Is there any chance for gift option to return to the store? Because gifting paint jobs and other things from the store was an amazing incentive, actually, and motivation tool to get players involved in various events and activities in the game. So we'd organize like a little, asteroid race, and then we'd have the first place gets to spend a tenner in front of their store.
Yes, and I remember I have my pen. I remember this has been in conversation. I've definitely seen a lot of people talking about it. So good reminder. As you know, there's a lot going on at the moment, but nothing is ever ruled out in terms of you guys sharing what you would like more of or what you think worked well. So I know I'll keep hold of that one. And,
thank you. If you could, that'd be great.
Yeah,
because
no
even
worries.
If nothing comes out of it, just if we can paste, put it as an idea maybe for something like that. So it disappeared when we've introduced args. I think it's something to do with that. What was the reason? No idea. Obviously, there may be some legal reasons behind it. I don't know. I can imagine there must have been something. Whether it was technical or legal. I'm just conscious of time, so I'll try to speed it up a little bit. No, it's all right. I mean, by any means. Talk all you want, Sally. That's why we're here, basically. What would be your next dream DLC expansion for Elite Dangerous?
Oh. Unofficially,
obviously. Of course.
What the front of my brain is going, what's the pinkest, coolest thing that you could possibly think of? I want something like I'm trying to sound cool, but all I've got in my head is something like a paradise biome type world that came out of nowhere and has this new leader in it that's like she's like some priestess of. I just want a really whimsical thing, Like I don't want any more monsters and just let me have my little world over there that's this biome thing. You don't need to go near it if you don't like pink.
Space unicorns.
Exactly. I know that there's at least one commander out there that wants a unicorn paint job. So all of that stuff would be available.
Unicorn ship kit. That would be amazing.
This is a very selfish expansion. But like I say, you don't have to play. And it'll be over there, and it will just be this place that if you want, you can go to, and there'll be little missions in there. You know, like it would just be a world with a load of
deliver us
on it,
5 really fluffy pink things.
Free the fluffy animals.
Yeah.
And they could even be those things that are in Star Trek that what are they called? Quibbles? I don't know. Someone will know. Ozzy might know. But Arthur talks about them all the time. You could even do a crossover like that if you wanted, if it kept other people happy. Tribbles. It could be Tribble. Maybe we could do that. A DLC mashup with Star Trek and Tribble worlds.
Tribble world. Tribble world. Hey, we got it. Excellent. That sounds interesting. I would definitely visit that world. You know.
That's the very serious DLC expansion for Elite Dangerous, everyone. 2024.
We could do it for April's Fool or something.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and then leave it in the game forever.
Yeah, just leave it there, don't.
Okay, let's do a round of some fun, quick questions. You don't know this, so most of the questions you've seen before the interview, but not these ones. This will be just like top of your whatever comes to your mind first, and why. Right. So first round, who would win in a fight? Denton Patreus versus Archon Delane.
Archon.
Why Archon?
Oh, I don't know. I just prefer. I don't know. I just would.
He seems meaner, doesn't he? And I think as a pirate, he have no rules.
I was going to say,
anything goes.
It's just a radical Jax type. I'm into that.
I think he would decimate Patros, actually, maybe. Right. Now, who would win? Professor Palin using Thargoid tech, or versus Ramtah using Guardian tech?
This is so easy. It's Ramtah. Don't talk about Palin to me. What a wimp. Like, just stop it, Palin. Stop running away. Take your science kit. And yes, I appreciate you're a clever guy, but Ramtah is like, he's got great hair. You know, and it's just, and it Ramtah as well, like his name, he has his Ramtah. I'm big Ramtah fangirl.
Fair enough.
Palin really annoyed me when he disappeared. I was really laughing because he probably knows that I won't shut up about this, but that day that he just disappeared, and he did it again, I think. Not too long after. Either that or I keep thinking, oh, he's going to go soon. Oh, he's going to go in a minute. Anyway, move on, Roots, because they get mad.
Right, let's go. So, drunk Zachary Hudson versus Zemina Torval, but twice her normal size.
The image of this is wild. I can imagine that is what drunk Zachary Hudson would see. Like that's what would be in. As soon as he got tipsy, he would see that in front of him. I imagine. I'm gonna go with Zach. Like I quite like. Yeah, I mean, goodness me.
Right.
That
okay.
was great. Let's
move on. Let's move on. 100 Aisling Duvals versus 1 actual Thargoid. Not a ship, an actual Thargoid species. 100 Aishlings versus 1 Thargoid.
I'm not an Aisling fan. So any kind of Thargoid is going to win against a bunch of Aisling.
You think Thargoid would win 100
Aishlings? Yeah. I mean, what's she gonna do? Like like I say, she's at a party somewhere. Exactly. I mean, there's always a time for that, honestly. I have them myself, where I think, do you know what? I'm just gonna sit on the shelf today. She does that 9 times out of 10. So if there was 100 of them, should be sitting there. Thargoid's over Aisling. Thargoid.
Okay, now the last one. Arthur Ptolemy versus Bruce and Zach together.
If it was Bruce and Zach, Arthur would think he was taking on Zach, but Bruce would be behind him. It'd be like a pincer attack, wouldn't it? Like,
probably would. Probably.
No, Arthur would win.
Do you think so?
You've seen the size of him. He's
solid, isn't he? He's a big guy, isn't he? Oh my god! I forgot about how big he is.
He's got his wits about him as well, so he'd be able to see Bruce any day. I know he got him once, but once is enough. He won't get him again. So I'm gonna stick with Arf on this one. He's back tomorrow. He's back on Monday as well. So I want to make sure that I'm in his good book.
Fair enough. Right. The second round is what's your favorites. So. First thing comes to your mind, your favorite ship.
Cobra Mark III. No hesitation.
Pink wafer.
Yeah.
Power play character.
Oh, Arissa. Always, yeah.
Not, just to be clear, not Aisling.
No.
Okay. Favorite not. Planet type.
Anything with an oxygen atmosphere.
They are amazing.
They're so pretty. Icy bodies are nice. Icy with oxygen. Yo, lovely.
Oh yeah.
That pink and white.
Yeah. Let's go. Right. Favorite bio. So favorite flower or flora.
Oh, this is fun. Oh, those. Yeah. Oh, they look like I can't remember the name of them. They're like little squidgy things, and we always laugh about them on social where they look like they taste like jam. They're like little balls
it's like two balls with sort of.
They're not the brain trees, but they're the other things that they just look like they're.
I forgot what they. I know which ones you mean. Yeah, I forgot what they're called as well. Actually.
Yeah, I love a brain tree though, but I know they're really old. But I mean, but there's those new ones that are like.
Fair enough.
They look like they're dripping as well, but it looks like you could eat them.
Yeah.
Those.
Favorite Odyssey weapon.
Don't fight.
You don't fight. But if you had to choose.
If I had to choose, I'd just have the little pistol thing. I'd have the arc cutter. That's what I'd have.
That sounds more little than any of the weapons,
you know. Cut some panels down.
Yeah.
And
hide.
Yeah. That's my weapon of choice.
Right. And then, what's your favorite Frontier game?
Elite Dangerous.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
100%.
If you said any other title, which finishes this interview right now.
All of them. Well, let me introduce you to Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin.
Oh, soon. I cannot wait for that one, actually.
Yeah,
play the beta, really good. Really good beta.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Actually, well, speaking of which, that's my next question. Frontier is making a new game in one of the most recognizable IPs and universes ever, Warhammer Age of Sigmar. That's exactly my next question. I've played the open beta on this channel, actually, and we've all quite liked it, actually. Bearing in mind, obviously, it was still an early beta. I'm looking forward to it once it's released, but how does it feel working with such a popular and beloved IP? What are the sort of challenges and the highlights of working with such a big, popular IP?
I mean, I'm very lucky, and there's a few of us that are quite lucky in that we've had experience of IP. I used to work on Magic the Gathering, which is also Wizards of the Coast, obviously very much the same age, the same kind of audience, and Games Workshop have got a lot in common. The size of the IP, like Wizards of the Coast, Games Workshop, it's very similar. So for me, I was more excited than daunted, because it was like daunted. Yes, that's the word. But yeah, I mean, what's exciting is you get to share that originality of somebody else's concept, and you have to bring that for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're representing that, much like Elite Dangerous. You know, we represent like, and I mean, some of the, you know, there's no negatives to it at all, but the difficulties, I guess, in working with really big IPs is that you have to get spot on. You can't get a color wrong. You can't get a name wrong. You can't get. You have to get, the art has to be signed off by everybody, and rightly so. Like we can't, you know, with Elite, I have a bit of fun sometimes. I, you know, take some of our assets and colour them and paint over them and do fun stuff like that. Because David is wonderful and finds me fun in that way and doesn't tell me off. So, but with, you know, larger IPs like that, everything has to go through
like a
approvals process.
I guess,
sign off. So it's a little bit longer to do.
I see.
But the thing is, it's not a problem because it's you have to do it right. You want to do it right. And so Warhammer is and obviously Will Flanagan is needs no introduction, but this is like a dream title for him. Because he and I used to paint he taught me how to paint miniatures. I had no idea we would be working on the same game. Do
they actually paint miniatures?
Wow. I'm writing in here at the moment.
That's amazing.
I've got a bunch of what was I doing recently? I've got some Night Haunts. They were my first ones. He's gonna be so grumpy with me because I can't remember which ones I'm doing at the minute. But I haven't. The thing is, though, do you know what? I haven't really played a game. I've only ever painted and done the artsy side. As in the tabletop. I played obviously our game. But again, I think like that, you know, with Magic, you can collect the cards. You don't always have to play it, but some people just collect them, don't they? I'm going off on one now, but I'm so excited to be working on that. It's obviously no secret. Like our team, that we are working on Warhammer as well as Elite, but both are loved equally.
Nice. That sounds really good. And I'm just conscious of time, obviously, it's just a little bit over now, but just really quickly, before we go to a few questions from the community, we all know what your favorite color is. It goes without saying what your favorite color is. Some somewhat related question. Beautiful. Somewhat related question then. Did you watch Barbie movie? And if so, did you like it? Oh, you didn't?
I haven't seen it. Can I tell you something? There is so much pink everywhere now. I don't feel like it's special anymore.
I
Barbie,
see.
what have you done? I'm so annoyed in some playful way, in that it used to be really hard to get really nice pink stuff. Now it's everywhere. And I'm just like, oh well then. That's just stolen on my thunder.
I don't Everybody's like pink anymore. Pink Fair enough.
But do they have one of these? No,
they don't. Obviously,
because
you can win one. Well, not pink one, but you can win a Hutton mug today in our raffle if we reach certain. We actually reached over £600 now, which is absolutely amazing, guys. Thank you for all your donations. That's great. Which means we've reached another tier in our raffle price. So, but let's do that after the interview. So. Quickly, just a few more questions from the community, and then, because we're already over the time. So, when it comes to Thargoids, do you prefer peaceful approach and trying to communicate with them, or do you support military solution to this matter?
I want to know more about them.
So and peaceful
to know more about them. Well, some might say if they aren't moving anymore, you can find stuff out about them. But
That's very true.
I mean... If it's still and on the ground, then maybe. But as in fallen over and crashed. I'm not a fighter. I've always been a fan of alien communication. So I was, when I was a little girl watching ET, and to a lesser but greater extent, Mac and Me. Does anyone remember Mac and Me? That little alien that was like this. And Alf, like all of those friendly aliens. I want to learn about them. So yeah, that was my long-winded answer of
That's
I
fine. We
will
long way. We can sit. I've got
try
12
and
hours. I've got 12,
communicate.
12 hours, Sally, to to spend. So we can sit here
I'm
till the
not
very
gonna
morning.
fight any Thargoid.
Fair enough. Let me just quickly welcome Al already because we had just had a massive raid. Right. So sorry. Next question then. Do you like
nice.
motorsports, Formula One, etc.?
Sorry, community question. Do you like motorsports? I like cars. I love cars. I like Formula One blows my mind. It's very complicated. So I like to watch Drive to Survive, which is the well, I don't want to say it's the big brother of Formula One, but it's like the behind the scenes stuff, and that's where I learn most of my stuff. Is that you can watch what they do outside of the cars as well as in the cars, and that holds me a little bit better. But yeah, I do. I am partial to motorsports.
Nice one. Right, next question. Out of your whole career, which games that you've worked on in your whole career do you think most fondly of?
I'm not even joking when I say Elite Dangerous. Like, I've not known anything like it. It was my first live service game with a community like this. I am very fondly thinking of it all of the time.
Thank you.
If it wasn't
from the community,
Dangerous,
obviously.
Oh gosh, it's without a doubt. But I mean, people may think I'm just saying that because what else would I say? And I'm on a live stream with people watching, and But I can't. I hope people realise how much it flipping means to me. This game, not a game. It's like a family and a lifestyle.
It's a thing. Yeah, definitely.
It's just worlds apart. But in terms of other games as well. I always think quite fondly of the first one where I felt a little bit wobbly at the knees, and that was when I worked on my very, very first larger IP, which was for DreamWorks with Puss in Boots. And it was a Kinect game. Do you remember Kinect?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow. And I had to, like, I was a QA manager on that actually, and I had to sort of test it every day and do the Kinect, and I was just dancing all day, and I was like, oh my god, it's for DreamWorks. I just think little Sally was like, oh.
I guess testing a game like that keeps you fit as well when you have to like move all the time. Like imagine somebody who tested like Beat Saber or Just Dancing, one of these games.
Well, I also had to test Biggest Loser. I was the smallest person, but they put me on this Biggest Loser game, which is fine. And the other one that I had to, the other fond memory that I have of testing games was I was the only person in the room testing Karaoke Revolution.
All right, nice.
It was a very small room with 6 of us in it, and I was in the corner with a microphone. By the end of the day, sitting on my throat like this, just going, it needs testing. But I was the only person in the corner of the room testing that game. A lot of fond memories, right? It's been a long time. It's been about 15 years. It's all I know apart from McDonald's. Time
flies when you're having fun. Right. The last question then. This is I'm sure you will know the answer to this, and we are looking forward to you answering that question. Where is Raxla?
You say something.
No, what? Crickets? What? I don't know.
Are you still there?
Did somebody? Hello?
Are you still there?
I think we lost communication, guys. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I think all that needs to happen now is we have to say thank you to you, Sally.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Are we back? Are we back?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Hello. We are back.
Sorry.
We're back.
Good. Sorry, I literally thought you'd gone then. I was like, oh, what the hell? I didn't even say goodbye.
What's happened there? No idea what's happened there.
Didn't even say goodbye.
Sally,
time?
Thank you very much for being here with us, for answering all these questions, for extending the time before and after our agreed and hour slot.
No, thank you for having me waffle on. Again, it was such a nice chance to chat with you. Me, the teams, everybody on our side. We do see you all as friends, family. Can't thank you enough for the energy that you bring to Elite Dangerous. Here you are doing a community charity streams, moderate all the mods as well, that you yourself, you know all about that. There is no greater thanks that I can give while I have a minute here extra. I've taken it over by 15. I apologize.
I mean, it works both ways, you know. It works both ways. This is again, this is why this community is so great, because of this, yes. You know. Thank you very much, Sally.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Hopefully sunny one, and loads of pink in your life.
Let's go.
Let's go. Thanks, Sally. Bye.
Bye. 7.
Oh, 7. Right. Amazing, guys. This was Sally, amazing Sally from Frontier Developments Community Team. Great interview. I had loads of fun asking her these questions.